Hi guys, it's Miss Chantelle and I am back with another video. And today we'll be making black bean hummus. I am going to do a voiceover for the rest of my video, but I just wanted to introduce this. My dishwasher is really loud and it is thundering outside. But to start off, we are making a black bean hummus. I have never made this before, but I am a big fan of hummus, and so I thought that this would be really cool to try. And I went ahead and prepped some carrots and cucumbers to snack on with this. And this recipe is pretty simple like the other ones that we've done, and it just involves a handful of ingredients. It involves black beans, it involves cumin, black pepper, olive oil, lemon juice, white vinegar, and salt. And I will just be adding all of these to the blender, blending it, and that will be the entire hummus recipe. So let's get started. So to start off, I had some chopped garlic and some garlic powder in the bottom of the blender, and I prepped that ahead of time, and then I went ahead and poured the black beans into the blender. I made sure to pour every single bean in there because sometimes they get stuck at the bottom, and then I proceeded to add some black pepper to it. The black pepper and the salt you can add as much or as little as you want. I made sure to add about the same amount of each, just to make sure that those flavors came through in the hummus. I then proceeded to grab a measuring spoon, double checking the recipe on my phone to make sure I was getting these measurements right, and I added cumin powder to the blender bowl. And cumin is a seasoning that just adds a really nice flavor to a hummus. And I really like cumin in general, so I usually add a bit more than a recipe would recommend to it. Then I grabbed the tablespoon measuring spoon and proceeded to add some white wine vinegar into the blender bowl. I am doubling the recipe that I found online, so here I am adding twice as much white vinegar as it says on the recipe. So there was 1 tablespoon, and this is the 2nd tablespoon. Then I proceeded to add the lemon juice, and that ingredient was also doubled, so I am supposed to add 4 tablespoons. I did not realize at this point that I had not put the right measurements in, so in a few seconds you will see me adding some more lemon juice and a bit more cumin. So now I'm adding the olive oil into this mix. And then this is when I realized that I needed to add a little bit more lemon juice. So here I am adding about 2 more tablespoons of lemon juice to this recipe. And this was also when I realized that I needed to add a little bit more cumin before I started blending. I went ahead and grabbed the teaspoon measuring spoon again to add some more cumin into the recipe. After adding that last bit of cumin, I grabbed the lid of the blender, screwed it on, and made sure that it was on really tight. I shook it up a little bit to give the ingredients a chance to mix pre-blender to make sure that everything got mixed really well, and then I started to blend. I blended this hummus for, I would say, about a minute. It resulted in a really creamy hummus. If you like your hummus a little bit chunkier, then I would either just pulse the mixture in the blender, or I would blend it maybe for like 15 or so seconds and then check on it to see what the texture is like. Here I am mixing it because I noticed that at the very bottom of the bowl, or the top of the bowl, depending on how you're looking at it, all the garlic and the garlic powder had stuck to it. And so I wanted to make sure that that garlic flavor was coming through. Then I went ahead and grabbed a bowl to pour this hummus into, making sure that the bowl was very clean before I did that. And I went ahead and poured this in, and since I had my carrots and cucumbers on the side, my little evening snack was ready to go. And as you can see, that one can made quite a lot of hummus. So this recipe, I would say, could, if you're feeding one person, could maybe be a snack for 3 to 4 days. So it made quite a lot. And I went ahead and tried the hummus, and it was pretty good. Afterwards I added a little bit more salt and a little bit more black pepper and a bit more olive oil. But I would recommend blending it for less time because it was very creamy and it was kind of hard for the hummus to stick onto the veg. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I am excited to see whether you guys try this recipe.